Well, something else has been very normal for somebody is blood, guts, and just beating people up. And that's the Echo series coming out, everybody. And I want to talk about this very briefly because, well, I was shocked by this trailer. This trailer came out. If you haven't seen it yet, the trailer for Echo came out. Of course, this is a spinoff following Hawkeye. We're getting to the Daredevil world finally. We're going to hear about Echo and her connection to Kingpin. And you had the character introduced during Hawkeye. And then we found about the spinoff coming. And everyone online was, I mean, for a while, I've been hearing these like, oh, it's going to be crap. And the trailer looks freaking awesome. It looks intense. It looks like a story I've been waiting to see. It looks like it falls into that Netflix like Daredevil world very well. And it seemed like D'Onofrio was finally getting a chance to play his Kingpin again. And it looks great. But I mean, for the first time, you're having a TV MA rated Disney program coming forward. It looks great. I mean, simultaneously, it's going to release on Hulu and Disney Plus at the same time. So if you have Hulu, you don't have Disney Plus, you can watch it regardless what service you have. And it's the first time a Native American and a deaf lead is out there. So it comes out January 10th. They're dropping every episode. You can check it all out. And it follows after Hawkeye. So if you haven't watched Hawkeye, you can watch it on Disney Plus, and it just continues forward there. And of course, D'Onofrio's not dead. Looked like he was dead, but to me, this looks so freaking, I was shocked by this trailer. I really thought it wasn't going to be, Echo's a Marvel character. I really didn't think that it was going to be like this. I was very blown away by this trailer. And we had some issues watching trailers before, so put a little, hashtag, like, get ready for this. We're going to watch a trailer. And if it doesn't work, tell us where we will switch right back. I think it'll be fine. I think we were trying to play music that was just like problematic in these trailers before. This should be fine. So we're going to try to watch the trailer together and reacting. If you see a problem, let us know in the chat. But anyways, here's the trailer for Echo. Let's check it out.
Maya. I see everything that you are. I always have.
Love Vincent.
He's so good.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Don't be afraid.
Fuck that, Vigilante. I'm here for it.
Right?
So much pain in you. So much rage that you can't contain it. The same. So?
So fucking.
Who's the monster?
I'm here for it. 100%. Nice.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, it looks great.
I mean,
shit.
not what I was expecting from this at all, right? Not what I was expecting. I'm like, they're going full into Kingpin, like full in there, brutality. And they're saying this is going to show some flashbacks. We already seen the trailer, tying into like the series from Hawkeye and then reintroducing Kingpin and what his connection is with her. And Daredevil's supposed to make an appearance in this as well. So that's also why people are like, they couldn't cancel it. But I'm like, I don't see why you can't. I mean, just from this trailer, you can only make a great trailer. But I mean, if this is the vibe of the show and the feel of it, the Kingpin is captured perfectly right here. And her persona too, she's actually much more badass, I think, in this than she was in the Hawkeye series. But the Hawkeye series is very lighthearted compared to this, it looks like. We're finally going into this world of Daredevil that I think people want to see and going R with it and going hard and going mature. Paul, you see this. What do you think? Have you had any kind of expectations for this series moving forward? And does this change those?
My expectations were honestly quite low because I just didn't know what this could be. Like, I like the character from Hawkeye quite a lot. But I was like, where can they go with this character? I like her from the comics, but do I really want to see a show about her? and this blew me away. Like, this is why I say Marvel isn't on the downward spiral that people think it is. Now, there's a lot of stuff Marvel needs to fix, but they have such a great cast of characters and stories to pull from that can be explored, and if created correctly and given proper time and dedication to creating the content that they want, like this. I mean, from the trailer, it looks like they really went there with it. You know, it reminds me of the Daredevil show. Well, yeah. It reminds me of the greatest TV show Marvel's produced, which is Daredevil.
Yep.
And if it's a return to form for that, I am there for it. I'm a big Marvel stan anyway. I recently, realized though I'm not a fan of the Secret Invasion series. That was not.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Shit. It was horrible.
Loki season 2 has brought me back into the fall. I'm excited again. So it's up and down with Marvel, whereas it used to be just straightforward hit after hit after hit. So hopefully this is one of the better ones.
Hello.
Fingers crossed.
I agree. Happy I know. Like, that Secret Invasion was just trash. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying they want us to reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe to get rid of that completely. We talked about that before. It's like, just get rid of that. Forget about, Nick with all his worries that like he's on the spaceship now. Forget about all that. We didn't need to see any of that. It's like, and for me too, it just seemed like a wash. They changed the directors and they changed the scripts. They had a lot of issues in post-production. They reshot so much for that series. This seems like it's totally in the right direction to me. And Loki is great so far. I'm excited for the finale coming up this week. I can't believe I'm saying it's finale already, but this is like finally getting some grittiness, Sabrina, right? You ready? You ready for this? You excited about this? I know you weren't a huge fan of the Daredevil series on Netflix. I know that, but do you think this is good for D'Onofrio moving forward, playing Kingpin again in the MCU?
Just Ryan, Peacemaker is DC, bro, not Marvel, but I feel you. Ryan's not a comic book person. So I think it looks great. I will remind you though that the trailer, since you mentioned it for Secret Invasion, was you put in a special code and you could watch the first few minutes, and it was Freeman, Martin Freeman, Martin Freeman coming in, and turned this whole thing happened with him and the other guy, and it was a scroll thing, and it looked super fucking good. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch it, and it was awful. So I will say what this has going for it that didn't. Vincent D'Onofrio, that's for fucking shit sure. He's amazing. I love his rendition of Kingpin. So I'm absolutely going to watch it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that, I feel like you had said, I think, Paul, that it feels very close to the original Daredevil. And I feel like maybe once this was finished, after all of the problems, that's why they're rebooting the new Daredevil, because they wanted to match this and the tone of the original Daredevil series. So maybe, that's part of the reason they're redoing all of that stuff that they're doing with the, what is it called? Reborn, the new Daredevil?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it's about.
Rebooting.
Right. But I feel like maybe they wanted to match the tone of this and match the tone of that, which is because it's all in the same, universe.
Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Like, make it match. I know they were saying that was more like a procedural lawyer show. It felt like when they got it done. That's what Kevin Feige was saying, as opposed like you didn't even see him in the Daredevil costume for like 3 or 4 episodes, like the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. That's what the leak that came out about it. Of course, Foggy died in the first episode.
Foggy and Karen are gone for no reason. They're like killed off in the first episode. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? That's what people love. They love their dynamic, and they loved his gritty fighting as Daredevil. They kept him in the vigilante costume more than his actual costume most of that series, because it was just like the street level hero. It's out there putting random costume on and kicking some ass. So Peacemaker made Ryan laugh. Peacemaker's great. It's a fun show. Very different vibe. Very different vibe.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Very different. Hey, Jacob, you ever watched the original Daredevil? Does this give you good vibe moving forward for the franchise that they're introducing Kingpin Kingpin again this way with Echo? Do you think this will be good, or do you think that we have to be skeptical because of just the first trailer?
Daredevil was like the first comic book I ever got as a kid. It was Daredevil and Punisher, and I fell in love with the Punisher and started reading all that. But yes, the show from Netflix, I loved it. It was great. I really liked the vibes that I got from this trailer. I fucking love Vincent D'Onofrio. He is an amazing Kingpin, and his character is just so much more badass. And he looks great in this. And I love the dynamic that it's showing. Like, is she his protege or his fucking lapdog / guard dog? Like his personal pit bull he can sick onto people. Like, I love where it's showing me this is going. Also, it's really funny. I actually got a chance to go to the UAII powwow this last Saturday with my girlfriend and my kid, and they had a stand where they were at the booth. They were showing this trailer. I walked past it because I thought it was, producers trying to promote a film because actors can't. So I was like, I don't want to give them my time. I feel kind of bad because that's clearly not what they were there for. They were actually promoting to show at the powwow, like, hey, this is a really good Native representation. It's what they are claiming, but they're backing it up with seats. They have a crew behind this. They have a producer from Reservation Dogs. They have
You're right.
a lot of indigenous, not just Native Americans, but indigenous folks from around the world. They have I believe an Australian Aborigines coming in to direct some of the episodes. So like, it's not just on screen, but behind the camera that they had a really good Native representation crew. As someone who has a child that is Native, I'm really excited that I can finally show him a superhero that he can relate to, and he can feel awesome about not just himself, but his culture, who he is. And not only is it a superhero, it looks like it's a badass vigilante, justice. I fucking love that. That's Punisher. Like, that's dope. And also
hell yeah,
involved in this. Like, I heard Tantu Cardinal and Graham Greene are in this shit. Like, that's classic actors. That's like Dances with Wolves territory. Like, you're talking amazing cast. So like, way to step it up, Disney. Hopefully the ball's not dropped and the show is really well done, because I would like to see more.
I want to see so many more Native American superheroes. That is so fucking cool. Like, I was on set for Perry Mason. Yeah, I was on set for Perry Mason, and I got to talk to one of the main actors on the show. And I was like, you know who you need to play? A Thunderbird from the X-Men. Who's a Native American. And he was like, I know awesome. That character. Yes. And perfect casting in my eyes. But I want to see characters like that brought to life. That would be so badass. And this looks great. And you were saying, what is it called? The UIAA or?
So the United UAII? American Indian Involvement is it's a non-for-profit that's here in Los Angeles that helps out Native American people. And they put on a powwow. There's a ton of powwows all the time. I'm white bread from the South, so I had no clue about this till I started dating my amazing girlfriend, who gave me a little bit of culture. And these powwows are incredible. You get to go and see the Native culture, that community. It's community. It's dancing.
Is it still going on? Because we had stuff like that.
We
had stuff like that back in the South too.
They're few and far between back home, but out here, I believe we go to one. There's at least one once a month. We try to go to as many as we can, because again, it's important for my son to know his culture and his history and everything and his community, and it's important for my girlfriend. Cool. And so, as someone who wants to be a part of that, I'm really excited that me being a movie guy, I don't know much, but now I can finally be like, look, I found something awesome. Let's watch this show and give him something cool to root for. I would love to get more
information about that, because I would love to check that out.
Oh, it's great. And that's something cool too about the show. I was also reading that the producers involved and the writers got together with the main actress and some other folks that believe the producer from Reservation Dogs, that they took them to a powwow. And I believe it was in Oklahoma, because they actually changed the Native character to be from the Choctaw tribe instead of Blackfeet, because they felt that in the comics with the Blackfeet, it was kind of convoluted. Again, there's not proper representation. So by changing to Choctaw, they were able to incorporate a better story that's more coherent and makes sense and is respectable. It's appropriate. And so that's kind of cool to me that they took the crew to a powwow, because they were saying, like, I can talk to them till my face goes blue about Native culture and representation and what should be happening. But they're like, I just got to take them to a powwow so they can see it. And so they took the crew to the powwow to see what's going on. And like, they got to see all the regalia. There was a scene in the trailer that was really awesome. It showed them in the regalia dancing at the powwow, or for what it looked like to me, but it could be a flashback to like some kind of cool ancient culture, flashback for her. Who knows what's going on with that storyline? But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty excited about this. I hope it does turn out well, and I hope that they do right by it, because it's a really big step, and it's really good, because especially for the Native community, coming off of the amazing hype behind Reservation Dogs, to be moving forward with another project and showing proper representation, I think that's awesome. I mean, there's enough white guy heroes out there. There's enough Daredevils. Yeah, so I'm happy that
there's more.
Now I'm watching. Now I'm
Sydney Freeland is actually
Reservation Dogs tonight. So
it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Another show to start. Damn it!
And that was so Sydney Freeland is the actual creator of that too, who's doing this as well. Yeah, and she was the one that was pushing for a lot of this representation, and she said it just means a lot to her. Even it was a whole thing she was talking about pitching this show in general, because it wasn't something that Marvel was looking to do right away. And I think it's awesome, and people were getting shit online over and over again. I really hope, based off this trailer, I'm excited about it. I really hope it's going to be great for the representation, and also for Marvel to have their first MA character come forward and kicks ass and is fantastic, and everyone loves her, and then she can springboard forward into the Daredevil series, and she can be everywhere, hopefully.
Well, also, I think I'm sure everyone knows, but she's not just Native American, she's also deaf. Yeah, so that's huge. Pretty fucking badass too.
Deaf as well.
And Daredevil, by the way, you're like, we have enough white heroes like Daredevil. He's fucking blind, so he's just not a regular white dude. So he's pretty badass too. Okay, I'm just saying.
Fair point.
So you have a universe where there's. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So
no. I mean, she has one leg.
Oh yeah,
she has one leg too.
Yeah.
But also,
it's really good to see that diversity, though. You're right, Sabrina. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a fun universe where like a blind superhero and a deaf. I don't know if you want to call her a villain. We don't know what she is yet, I guess. But initially, though, she was a villain in Hawkeye, like technically, right? But there is question about that. They do bring that into question, which is why I think they're doing the spinoff, because it's like, oh, why is she doing what she's doing? She finds out these things, and then you know what I mean. So it makes sense, like that they want to give her a backstory about this. But like watching Hawkeye, you're like when she first shows up, she's a villain, 100%. But I think it's great in a world where you have obviously Vincent D'Onofrio being amazing, and then you have a blind, hero or vigilante, and then a deaf hero or vigilante or villain, or however you want to classify it. I just think it's amazing to have so much diversity in like one little like piece of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Queen said earlier that there are so many Native American heroes, and there are so many heroes of everything, different colors, different races, different ailments, disabilities, whatever the fuck. And they have not done that for a really long time. And I'm glad that they're finally starting to get their shit together and represent everybody as a fucking whole, instead of just making it, Superman. And I know it's not Marvel, I know it's DC, but I'm just saying, like the classic shit that you see all the fucking time. Like I'm really glad that they're, doing justice to the comics.
I like that too, doing justice comics, but also they're doing justice to the community of people that they're trying to represent, because Queen is right. There is a ton of Native American characters. You are right, Sabrina. There's a ton of people of color superheroes out there, but
my point is that the comics did that. The comics did that, but they're not doing it. The film industry is not doing it.
But what I like is the film industry, it seems to be stepping up to a point where, like, not only are they showing the representation on screen, but behind the camera as well, which means they're getting appropriate representation.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I think that's going to be great. And it's a good step in the right direction for a ton of actors, a ton of characters, superhero characters out there of different ethnicities, to finally get that representation on screen and behind. And I'm here for it 100%.